Chapter 254, You Can't Be a Coward. Lijin, you're back, right? In the office of the vice principal of the mystery branch, Zhang Xiaohong's call was connected. I've been back for a few days, Mr. Zhang. Are you in good shape? Mr. Zhang, I'm in good condition. Okay, then go and challenge the rankings. You've been silent for so long. You need to show off, Zhang Xiaohong said. Today? Dai Lijin's voice sounded a little hesitant. Yes, today, Zhang Xiaohong was very certain. Your juniors in the supernatural branch should be looking forward to seeing you at this moment. After a moment of hesitation, Dai Lijin agreed over the phone. Zhang Xiaohong's voice rang out, also, the fly that was clamoring in the main arena of the Longhu list. If he dares to accept the challenge, slap him onto the arena. This time, Dai Lijin was silent on the other end of the phone. He did not immediately agree to Zhang Xiaohong's request. He remained silent. However, Zhang Xiaohong was not anxious at all. He did not hang up the phone and just waited. He quietly waited for Dai Lijin's answer. He waited for the answer he needed. Through the silent phone call, Zhang Xiaohong clearly expressed his determination and request to Dai Lijin. Dai Lijin hesitated, even though he was reluctant. He could not refuse Zhang Xiaohong's determination. If there was anyone in the Wuxia Genetic Evolution College whose request he could not refuse, it would definitely be Zhang Xiaohong, the dean of the supernatural branch who had nurtured him. Zhang Xiaohong and Dai Lijin remained silent on the phone. The silence between the two sides was more like a contest of strength and perseverance. In the end, Zhang Xiaohong's silence won. Mr. Zhang, I know what to do. Go now. All right. Zhu Tui panted heavily in the arena. Brother Zhu, catch. Xun Ziking threw Zhu Tui a bottle of level E energy restoration elixir. Zhu Tui did not argue. He opened the bottle and swallowed it. Zhu Tui seemed to have only used up his mind power during the 5 consecutive battles. However, this kind of battle, where he was completely focused, had also consumed a lot of his physical strength. In reality, the lightning that Liu Kai had shot out from the ground did not cause any substantial damage to Zhu Tui. However, Liu Kai's move was actually very powerful. Zhu Tui's flying sword was the first to severely injure him. Otherwise, Zhu Tui, who had been paralyzed by the lightning, would have to endure Liu Kai's continuous attacks. Once that happened, the probability of losing was not small. It was also because he had fallen to the ground just now that he looked a little miserable. The leg combat uniform was a blood-colored design. Because of the fall just now, his body and face were stained with blood. It looked exceptionally tragic. On the other side of the arena, Ku Qingshan's forehead was covered in sweat. Even though he had used all his mind power, he could not stop the blood from gushing out of Liu Kai's neck. He could only try his best to reduce the bleeding. He had no choice. Liu Kai's injuries were too severe. Zhu Tui's flying sword cut off a third of his neck. His flying sword was relatively short. Otherwise, he would have been beheaded by the attack. Of course, Liu Kai's current situation was only slightly better than being beheaded. His neck was not broken. Of course, the reason why Liu Kai was so seriously injured was because he was a lightning-type supernatural being. Compared to Earth-type and Water-type supernatural beings, lightning-type supernatural beings were better at attacking. They were slightly weaker in defense. Sweat rolled down Ku Qingshan's forehead, but he did not dare to wipe it. He was afraid that if there were any fluctuations, Liu Kai would not be able to hold on until the mobile medical pod arrived. After all, it was a serious injury that was close to decapitation. Fortunately, the first aid center of the Wuxia Genetic Evolution College was extremely professional. In less than 2 minutes, a large repulsive force flying vehicle, carrying a mobile full health support medical pod, landed on the main stage of the Longhu list. The person who led the way was Dr. He, whom Zhu Tui had gotten to know after he had been injured during their previous exchanges. Dr. He was shocked when he saw Liu Kai's injuries. The surprise in his eyes became even stronger when he recognized his opponent, Zhu Tui. However, the doctor's professionalism made Dr. He run towards Liu Kai immediately. The other assistants dragged the life support medical pod towards Liu Kai. With Ku Qingshan's cooperation, Liu Kai was sent to the life support medical pod to stabilize his condition before being transferred to the emergency center. There, Liu Kai would receive treatment for a major surgery. Ku Qingshen heaved a sigh of relief after sending Liu Kai off. Only then did he have time to wipe the sweat off his forehead. He simply took a water bottle from a student. As the referee, he sat down at the rest area to rest. It was so damn tiring. Zhu Tui, who had consumed a bottle of level E energy restoration elixir, had recovered most of his stamina. He once again roared in Wen Xiao's direction. "Mr. Wen Xiao, is there anyone else? Mr. Wen Xiao, do you have no one else? Or do you not dare to send anyone? I'm very disappointed. Congratulations, first-year supernatural students. Your cowardice will help you obtain a ranking. It will also give your Mr. Wen the honor of being first in the teaching assessment. However, I despise you. I will always despise you." Zhu Tui's lips twitched. He had suffered so much today. Even if he could not achieve his goal, he would make Wen Xiao so angry that his blood vessels would burst. In any case, they had already fallen out with each other, so he did not care too much. The only thing Zhu Tui paid attention to was that he did not use vulgarities when he was angry at Wen Xiao. He did not use any personal attacks. He did not want to violate the school rules. The accident that Zhu Tui had caused during the first-year ranking battle had already caused a storm within the Wuxia Genetic Evolution College. Zhu Tui could see more than a dozen supervisors from the disciplinary division of the school, who were dressed in black uniforms. Wen Xiao's expression was indescribably ugly. He stood there like a cold lump of ice. Many timid students did not dare to move. Under Zhu Tui's provocation, 3 other first-year supernatural-type seeded candidates left Wen Xiao's side. They parted the crowd and squeezed to the bottom of the main stage of the Longhu list along with the 2 first-year supernatural-type seeded candidates who could not take it anymore. "Zhu Tui, we admit that you are very powerful, but we are not afraid. We are also hot-blooded men. We want to fight you." Shen Ziyu was the first to shout. Actually, Shen Ziyu regretted it very much. If he had not listened to Wen Xiao's advice and insisted on fighting Zhu Tui instead of admitting defeat, he would have been able to relax. For the rest of his life, this matter would become something he could brag about. However, that was not important. What was important was that he was magnanimous. Unlike now, Zhu Tui had become a trauma in his heart. Zhu Tui gave Shen Ziyu and the others a thumbs up when he saw that they had rushed to the main stage of the Longhu list to challenge him. "You're all men. Go, you guys go to the first-year Longhu list to challenge the rankings. Stand in line and wait. I'll break your legs one by one." "All right, you said it." Shen Ziyu roared and led the other 4 students towards the small arena of the Year 1 Longhu list. "Zhu Tui, keep your word. We'll wait for you to break our legs." Shen Ziyu led the 4 students and ran toward the arena to register without looking back. Wen Xiao remained silent. He did not object, did not stop, and did not approve. However, Wen Xiao's attitude at this moment represented his attitude. Therefore, many of the freshmen from the supernatural branch did not dare to challenge the rankings. "Mr. Wen, I'm sorry. I can't hold on any longer. I'm going to challenge someone. I, Zhan, can lose, can break a leg, but I could not back down. And you taught us in class that the front line of the extraterrestrial battlefield requires warriors who are not afraid of death, not." Zhan, who had been silently calm and persistent, suddenly bowed to Wen Xiao. After saying this, he silently turned around and walked towards the small arena. Wen Xiao's lips twitched, but he did not speak. Now that things had come to this, Wen Xiao, as a teacher, could not speak. Wen Xiao might have some problems in certain aspects. At this moment, although he hated Zhu Tui and was angry, he still had a bottom line when it came to teaching students. He was also unwilling to watch Zhu Tui break the spine of this batch of students from the supernatural branch. If his leg was broken, it would heal in half a month. However, if his backbone was broken, it would really be broken. Of course, in this situation, it was useless for Wen Xiao to stop him. With the departure of Zhan, the remaining candidates of the 23 first-year supernatural type seeded candidates who had been gathered around Wen Xiao all followed suit and bowed to Wen Xiao. Then, they ran towards the small arena and directly registered to challenge the rankings that they had long analyzed and locked onto. Their battle was no longer about victory or defeat. It was only for courage, only for the sake of guts. They could not back down. They could not be afraid even if their legs were broken. They were also geniuses who stood out from the various high schools in the country. They were top students. They were also a newborn calf. They were also a hot-blooded youth. For a time, the remaining 23 seeded candidates of the first-year supernatural branch collectively fought on the Year 1 Longhu list. It directly received a large amount of applause from the students watching the battle. Everything else aside, their actions should also receive applause. Many students gathered below the main stage of the Longhu arena, hesitated for a moment before giving up on the better seats and surrounded the small stage of the Year 1 Longhu list. It looked like there were no more battles. There should not be anyone else from the supernatural branch who would challenge Zutue. It was not a matter of whether he could win or not. It was already a battle of attrition. If more people came, the supernatural branch would really be despised by everyone. The cheers that the freshman supernatural branch had just received were about to be wasted again. Kukingshan, the referee on duty, finally heaved a sigh of relief. Damn it, it was finally over. He could finally rest, putting aside the fact that he had exhausted his mind power. In the past few battles today, he was also mentally exhausted. Just as Kukingshan was relaxing, a young man with red eyebrows suddenly walked to Kukingshan's side. Mr. Ku, I want to challenge the rankings. When he saw who it was, Kukingshan immediately exploded. Dai Lijian, you're a second-year dragon. Why are ya here? In an instant, the entire Wuxia Genetic Evolution College, the arena, and the internet exploded. The second-year dragon, Dai Lijian, wanted to challenge him. The students who had given up their seats immediately regretted it.